Good morning. It is Sunday, the 12th of May. Happy Mother's Day. And go give your mother a hug. Let's jump in to see what Bitcoin prices are doing right now on the 24 hours of Bitcoin. Quick look at the disclaimer. It's not financial advice, just market commentary. And let's jump right into the price of Litecoin versus Bitcoin. Jump into Bitcoin US dollar. We're seeing a break of this top formation right now. And I want to dig into the indicators so that we're looking at the on-balance volume, heavy selling coming in. The RSI has faded back as the top has come down. And we're looking at the 5-minute bars. So that's pretty close. 15-minute bars. We can see the MACD indicator crossed over as we had the 1, 2, 3 top formation shaping up. We had the RSI divergence over the last two highs. So this is still pretty close time frame, but the on-balance volume has slipped off and gone into negative. So this is top formation news here. As we zoom out a little bit more, it's still holding that top formation news where it's got the crossover of the MACD on the 1 hour time frame. Pretty dumpy here compared to the buying volume we had. The RSI isn't quite as negative, so it's not giving me, I don't know how deep of a pullback it'll go, but it's crossing the important lines to be considering those short setups now, especially after the move we've seen. The RSI is pulling back. The on-balance volume on the 4 hour is losing steam, still not critical. The MACD indicator on this time frame is still staying positive, although the little tick in the green here, losing that little bit of momentum, one step back in the histogram while everything else is doing what it's doing in that top formation, lets us know that the bearishness on the 1 hour time frame is creeping in to the 4 hour time frame. Then as we move back out longer time frame, this is still looking pretty bullish, pretty strong volume, strong RSI. Everything's looking good on the 12 hour time frame, but the point always changes at the tip first. And we can see the RSI is struggling. The on-balance volume is pretty negative. That's in the 15-minute view. Zoom right into the 5-minute. It's a good bit of selling, but it is resisting it so far. If we go into the 1-minute bar and we're watching what's going on, it has broken down below some key levels and given us, now it's turned from support. Now this is resistance. Now we have resistance, that it has to burst through and work its way back through that resistance now on the way back, should we see that in the near term. But certainly it's done such a move that we could zoom this back to the 1 month view, clear that stuff off, grab a Fibonacci. What did it do just from this move here? Not unlikely at all, and not strange at all for a market to do a 50% retracement after a pretty good move. And this is the 25th until now. What is that? 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks almost. 3 weeks of time to do this run. So then out of this top formation, it wouldn't be unusual for a market to come back and do a formation like this on its longer uptrend. And look at the technical levels that is at too. Pretty good. So those are things that could happen just only because we're seeing those indicators softening off right at the 1 hour time frame. So we're seeing the RSI easing, we're seeing the on-balance volume dumping, we're seeing the MACD indicator crossing. And I'm just wanting to do this video to observe this as it's happening. And I want to reflect on what's this doing against the big four. So here are our big four on US dollar terms. They're hitting these bottoms and giving a little bit of tick of green. So it could be that it's rejecting these lows, which would be great. If it were rejecting those lows, wrong chart, then I want to see it in the indicators. I want to see the indicators telling me that first, that it's rejecting this and coming back up. So in the super close time frame, this should be crossing over and going stronger. This should be ticking up. This should have volume coming into the positive side in Bitcoin. And I'm not seeing it on the 5-minute bar. Let's go to the 1-minute bar. We can see the crossover and a bit of positive. So, but it's still got that resistance now to poke its way back up through. good to see. Now let's go over to Bitfinex and we'll take a look at ETH US dollar and do the same thing. Clear off all this stuff. Zoom back to the 1 year view and ETH US dollar 5-year view. ETH US dollar positive histogram. We haven't seen anything in volume in Ethereum, really. It hasn't stepped up to volume in the weekly stuff yet. The RSI is picking up. We have an enormous 1, 2, 3 bottom formation shaping up here. Now when we zoom into the 1 day, we can see this bottom formation. It's shaping up so much like Bitcoin was earlier. And then Bitcoin did the run. I think Ethereum looks like it's setting up to do that same run too. And when we look at the histogram, histogram's positive. We got a crossover in the MACD indicator. Those crossovers are important, especially when it's in the positive zone and it hasn't come down to negative to crossover. That's good. We've got a crossover, a higher crossover. That's stronger and stronger. On balance, volume's looking good. The relative strength index is looking good. And what time frame is this? 1 day view. Zoom into the 12-hour bar view. Still looking good, still looking strong. On balance volume, the crossover here, the relative strength index is still looking good and strong and up. Then we get into the 4-hour time frame. We have this bit of a pullback, and yet the on balance volume is still strong. MACD is good. The RSI is pulling back a little bit. That's the first little indicator. Now, here's where I'm starting to see divergences, where we've got a double top and we've got divergences here, we've got divergences here, we've got the crossover here, and this is in Ethereum. So it has eased off a little bit. If we're going to see this turn and continue to go, then I want to see it in the indicators. As we're zooming in here, I want to see these indicators giving me the divergence. I want to see a positive divergence in the RSI from underneath. I want to see a positive on balance volume, and I don't see it here. I want to see this cross to positive, and it's not doing it yet. So that's on the 15-minute bar. On the 5-minute bar, okay, maybe we're starting to see a little bit where the RSI is resisting. We have lower lows here, RSI is flat. We are seeing that this is just crossing over a little bit and going to a slightly positive histogram right here. So those are some of the indicators that are telling me maybe that this is catching itself and going higher, but contrarian indicators, the indicators are not matching up. The long-term ones are saying bullish. The 1 hour and the 15-minute are saying bearish. And then when we get into the 5-minute, it's starting to give us something. But it's not clear yet. I know as this unfolds, of course, it'll give us clarity. And this kind of green candle popping up here is helping give us clarity on the 1 hour time frame. Even though in this 1 hour time frame on Litecoin here, we're still seeing the same divergences so far. I like the last little tick up of green, but I'm still not seeing the volume. I'm not seeing the MACD crossover. 1 hour time frame. Let's go to the 1 day for Litecoin. So this is good in that it has pulled back. You can see the RSI has pulled back. The dumping came in here, and then we got some positive. And I really like to see this green before the prices go to the positive. So while we are in the negative and we have this green on the side, it's a good thing to see. And it's a bad thing to see if you're bullish when it's on the top side. So let's check to see how this plays out now over time. It's looking good on the 1 day view. Zoom back into the 12-hour view, and it's still looking pretty good. The RSI is a bit stronger. We got volume coming in. The crossover has occurred here on the 12-hour view, so that's bullish. On the 4-hour view, it's still looking bullish. We have the volume coming in, positive. RSI is easing off a little bit. The 1 hour time frame, okay, we have those same 3 divergences that we have in Bitcoin and in Ethereum, where we have this divergence and this is weaker on a double top. It's such a short time frame that we'll have to observe it over time to see how this actually plays out. Now, when I zoom into the 15-minute bar, it's still not giving me the turnaround yet. It's still feeling like a top formation and the divergence to the negative side on this time frame. And I'm wanting it to show me more of the positive. This isn't even turning around enough yet. Even though we've got a little bit of a green candle here, the indicators are not turning around along with it to give me that confidence yet. So all of this still is looking like top formations according to those indicators. And I'm keen to see these indicators switch and start telling a different story as this is starting to build and go parabolic yet another stage higher. If we go to the 5-year view of Bitcoin, one of the guys in our Discord chat, if you haven't already, be sure to drop by our Discord chat and join us for our ongoing conversation about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. You can click on a link in the description below and you can find us there. And I also invite you to head over to digitalcurrencytraders.com. You can download the free chapter from my book, or if you're interested, you can save up to 80% on the cost of that book and get the whole trading plan there. digitalcurrencytraders.com. So when we look at the retracement here, the reason I said that is that on our Discord group, one of the guys commented that the last time Bitcoin hit $6,900, in 45 days, it hit $20,000. So the last time Bitcoin hit these prices in this range, it just went straight up for 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. For the next month, it absolutely went crazy from $7,000 to $20,000. So pretty much tripling in price over the next 45 days if that were to continue. And it's completely possible. The world is more aware of Bitcoin now. The institutional investors have been the ones that have been soaking up all this Bitcoin, because if we go to Google Trends and we look for Bitcoin and we go out to the past 5 years and we go to, okay, so there we go. Here's the public all being interested in Bitcoin. So in these 45 days, the public drove Bitcoin from $6,000 to $20,000. And there was lots of interest from the public. But now we can see Bitcoin's making this run up, and we don't have this pre-built up interest from the public. This is all from the institutions soaking up everything that's available. Now when the public does pay its attention to Bitcoin, we're going to see new highs. We're definitely going to see new highs. So I'm keen to be watching now this continue. I'm keen to be watching this turnover to see the volume come in, or to be watching for more short selling opportunities. Just because it's coming up now to be testing support and resistance, and it's breaking the 1, 2, 3 top formation. So those are the things that give me my signals. Let's go to the moving averages too. So here's a crossover. It's on the 5-minute time frame. I don't want to jump in and out on crossovers from the 5-minute time frame. For the trend trading part of me, I don't want to jump in and out of 1 hour exponential moving average crossovers. I want to stay in for the 12-hour exponential moving average crossover, which means that my trading system does best when it gets in here, adds on here, and then does nothing and just waits to let the market tell us how correct we are. Our job is to make sure that we get out of our losses and keep them small, keep ourselves in the game, and then after that, it's not our work. We leave our stop loss just above our entry and let it go. Give it the room. Don't jump in and out, in and out, in and out. Let it go. So this is the kind of filters that I'm practicing and studying as I do these videos over time, so we can see, was it better to get out in the 4-hour exponential moving average crossover, or should we wait for the 12-hour? So that wraps it up for this episode of the 24 hours of Bitcoin. We've gone through our indicators. They are showing some weakness on the earlier time frames, and yet the chart pattern could be continuing on from here. We'll zoom in later today. I'll maybe do a second episode to update on this after it breaks one way or the other, so that we can verify what our indicators were telling us, especially if we can get into finding something where the indicators are switching now from being bearish and then they switch around and go bullish. That will be something to monitor. But if they continue to go bearish, then we've got more selling opportunities right away. So out of this 1, 2, 3 top formation and the exponential moving average crossover, these are areas where you could start feathering in a small bit of your short position. Never put on the whole position at the beginning because that's just too risky. But once it is proving you correct and you have a little bit of cushion underneath this short, then you can use some different strategies like the Ichimoku cloud for determining when to go add on to that short and to really go into your full position. We'll see how that works out afterwards as well. So tune in next time for the 24 hours of Bitcoin. We'll continue to update this and keep an eye on the indicators along with our trading formations. Just take a last look at the 4 here in US dollar price, consolidating nicely in all of them. If this consolidates and starts to go higher, it's going to be very bullish for these markets. Here it is in the Bitcoin value. Lot of selling volume here in Stellar. And not showing full strength here. A little bit, but pulling back. So this is looking more bearish for all of these markets. Bitcoin dominance. The last look at this double top. We'll see what this is doing. Bitcoin dominance may come down as everything is crashing. And the alts market cap will probably come back as well. There we go. Top formation in the alt market cap. Let's tune in next time and we'll see what ends up happening out of all of these great formations. Phenomenal time to be trading. Thanks again for watching. Good luck in all of your Bitcoin trading. Tune in next time and we'll continue our watch.